They sat frozen in the terminal luggage at their feet, faces burning while strangers whispered and stared. Two teenage girls, barely 16, had just been marched off a flight like criminals, and the sting of humiliation clung to them, until one text popped up on a cracked phone screen. It's done. The airline's stock just dropped 30% in 1 hour. Their father had pulled the trigger. What started as a private nightmare was about to become a storm that shook an entire industry. But let's back up, because to really feel this story, you have to understand who these girls were before all hell broke loose. Naomi and Nicole Carter weren't just smart, they were prodigies. Born and raised in Houston, they'd been obsessed with numbers since they could talk. At 16, they'd earned their spot on Team USA for the International Math Olympiad in Switzerland. That alone would have been history-making. But what really set them apart was the bond between them, Naomi, the bold one walking with a stride like the world already owed her respect, and Nicole, quieter, the type who thought 3 times before speaking. But when she did, people listened. Their dad, Marcus Carter, wasn't just a proud father, he was a force. From coding in a 1-bedroom apartment to building Carter Dynamics, one of the fastest-growing cybersecurity firms in America, Marcus had clawed his way into boardrooms that weren't built for men who looked like him. He'd come to embody the phrase he drilled into his daughters' heads. Head high, mind higher. That morning at the Houston airport, Marcus had a surprise. After wrapping up another tense call about a corporate merger, he handed his daughters 2 gleaming boarding passes. First class to New York, then straight on to Geneva. You've earned it. The twins lit up. They'd never sat in first class before. But from the second they handed those passes to the blonde agent at the counter, the air shifted. She froze, staring too long at the seats printed in bold letters. First class. "Are you sure these are your tickets?" she asked, her voice flat, her eyes darting toward Marcus. Naomi bristled. "Yes, they're ours. Our dad upgraded them." Nicole touched her sister's arm, trying to defuse it, but Marcus was already watching, his jaw tight. The agent smiled quickly, correcting herself, but the sting had already landed. It was the same silent message they'd grown used to. "Are you sure you belong here?" Still, the girls walked on, trying to shake it off. They boarded the plane, and that's when Brandon, the flight attendant with the square jaw and narrowed eyes, spotted them. His smile didn't reach his face as he muttered to his colleague, "We need to maintain standards in first class." He glanced right at them. At first, the twins tried to enjoy it. The seats were plush like thrones. Nicole whispered, "This is amazing," running her hand along the armrest. But Naomi kept noticing Brandon watching them, circling like they were out of place. When the drink cart came, every passenger around them was offered champagne flutes and hot towels. The girls got skipped. Naomi spoke up. "Excuse me, we haven't been served yet." Brandon turned with a cool smirk. "I believe my colleague already took care of you." "She brought us cider," Naomi explained. "But everyone else is getting something different. Towels, cocktails." With exaggerated reluctance, Brandon scribbled their order, muttering just loud enough for his supervisor, Patricia, to hear attitude problem. And then came the captain's announcement. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a slight delay due to a passenger disturbance." The whole cabin fell into confused murmurs. Patricia strode down the aisle, Brandon trailing behind her like backup. She stopped at their row. "Is there a problem here?" Marcus looked up, stunned. "No problem at all." "We've received reports. These young ladies have been aggressive toward our crew," Patricia announced loud enough for everyone to hear. Nicole's jaw dropped. "That's not true. I only asked about service." "See the attitude," Brandon muttered. An older woman across the aisle, Evelyn, raised her cane. "I've been watching. These girls have been polite. They just wanted the same service as everyone else." But Patricia ignored her. "For safety reasons, if you can't comply with crew instructions, we'll need to reevaluate your travel." By now, Naomi had pulled out her phone recording. Brandon pointed like he'd caught a thief. "She's filming after being told not to." The cabin gasped when 2 airport security officers appeared. Their badges gleamed. One barked, "Ladies, gather your belongings. You're coming with us." Marcus stood towering over them. "These are my daughters. They've done nothing wrong. Sir, please don't escalate, Patricia cut in a smirk, tugging at her lips. Security's already here. The twins felt every stare as they walked that aisle. Naomi fighting tears, Nicole already breaking down. Phones pointed at them, whispers followed. That walk of shame burned deeper than any insult. In the cramped airport security office, they were treated like suspects. Bags dumped out, phones confiscated, separated from their dad. Marcus's calm face cracked when he was led away. It's okay, I'll be right back. But they'd never felt smaller, more vulnerable. By the time Marcus returned, the fire in his eyes was unmistakable. We're leaving, but this isn't over. He wasn't bluffing. Marcus Carter wasn't just a dad. He was the man who protected half the airlines in the country with his company's software. And in that moment, he decided Skylink Airlines would pay. By the time the family reached the terminal, videos of the incident were already viral. Hashtags trended. Flying while black. And wow, Carter twins. Evelyn Carter, the elderly passenger, had uploaded her witness statement. A businessman from first class tweeted, "I've flown for 20 years, never seen anything like this." Back in a hotel suite, the family huddled. Naomi paced, scrolling through millions of views. Nicole curled up, whispering stats under her breath. If we weren't black, 97% chance we'd still be on that plane. If we weren't in first class, 84% chance no one would have noticed us. Their mother, Angela Carter, joined by video call from Chicago, where she was wrapping a civil rights case. Her fury was cold steel. "I've filed complaints with the FAA and Department of Transportation. Naomi, send me your footage. Nicole, send me the passenger names." Marcus sent a single text to his COO. "Initiate Black Swan Protocol. Terminate Skylink contract." Within an hour, Skylink stock dropped nearly a third. The airline scrambled. In Dallas, their CEO, Harold Bennett, faced a furious board. As evidence poured in, including whistleblower emails from flight attendant Melissa, layers of nepotism and cover-ups unraveled. Patricia Lawson wasn't just a supervisor. She was Bennett's cousin, promoted despite repeated complaints. When the Carters finally sat across from Skylink's executives, Angela's voice cut sharper than any lawyer in the room. "This is not about vouchers or upgrades. This is about accountability." Naomi couldn't stay silent. She turned to Brandon, her voice trembling but strong. "Was it a misunderstanding when you said we didn't meet first-class standards? What standards? We were polite. We were honor students. What didn't we meet?" Silence. And then Nicole, the quiet one, stood, her notebook in hand. "I've been calculating probabilities since that day. The chance our removal was random, 0.003%. The chance Brandon and Patricia's pattern of removals was coincidence 0. But here's the real equation. Every black passenger you humiliate, you don't just lose one customer. You lose their family, their friends, their community. That cost is immeasurable." The room froze. The board shifted. Harold Bennett, red-faced, tried to brush it off, but his authority had cracked. Within weeks, he was gone. Brandon fired. Patricia disgraced. Skylink forced to overhaul policies, report passenger removals by race, and bring in outside audits. A year later, the Carter twins stood at the same boarding gate, same flight number, different world. A black female captain greeted them warmly. Diverse attendants treated them with dignity, and the girls eased into their seats, this time invited, not questioned. Naomi smirked, whispering full circle. Nicole pulled out her speech for Geneva, now not just about math, but about resilience. They'd turned humiliation into reform, their trauma into a blueprint for change. But as they looked out over the runway, the question lingered. Would any of this have happened if they weren't the daughters of Marcus and Angela Carter? How many others had been quietly thrown off planes with no cameras, no hashtags, no boardroom leverage to fight back? That's the bitter truth, and the reason this story still sparks debate. So tell me, was Marcus right to use his power as a CEO to crush an airline? Or did he go too far? And more importantly, have you ever seen someone treated unfairly just because of who they are? Or maybe it happened to you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because sometimes the most important journeys aren't about miles at all, but about the courage to stand up when the world tries to sit you down.